Yo, what is up guys? So I wanted to start off this video by saying because I am stuck in here for the entire 40-day fast and I have some free time, I want to start doing some cameos. So yes, I am on Cameo and I would love to give you a shout out, but I thought a even better use of Cameo would be for me to answer questions. I'm getting so many questions, I simply cannot answer them all. And if the Cameo is too expensive for you, I understand. I will be putting out as much free content on YouTube as I can. But if you guys have personal development questions, spiritual questions, or even fitness questions, I would be happy to answer them on Cameo. If you send me a Cameo request, you are guaranteed to have your questions answered. And Cameo doesn't really have any restrictions. I will talk about absolutely anything on Cameo. I'm not restricted to the family friendliness of YouTube. So hit me up on Cameo. Link is in the description below. So this video is very interesting. I was not expecting to make this video, but a couple days ago, something pretty crazy happened on live stream. I was just sitting out there tanning, soaking up the vitamin D, and I get this call from a restricted number, a no caller ID number. And so I thought I would answer it for the live stream. And guess who it was? Mental Health Services. They were very worried about me. They were wondering if I needed psychiatric help. Apparently there had been many reports to the cops about me doing this 40-day fast, and people are thinking that it's extremely dangerous for some reason. So yeah, Mental Health Services called me. Now the conversation is very entertaining. I talk pretty crazily from her perspective. She totally thinks I'm crazy. In reality, I just talk about a lot of spiritual things. I talk about spirituality, right? And so there's a lot of extremely good information throughout the call as well. So not only is it entertaining, but you can also learn a lot. So I just had to put it on YouTube. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video and let's get into it.
Yeah, so my team is sometimes referred by the police to see if people are interested in mental health services. And so we were just calling to see if you're interested in that and that kind of thing.
Interesting. Why would I be interested in mental health services? Why did the police say that?
I guess there had been concerns from someone after they saw some videos you've posted that were just concerned about how you're doing.
I'm not sure if I understand which videos. I feel incredible. I'm great. I'm like the happiest I've been. What videos are you talking about?
There were some YouTube videos. I guess some of them were you talking about fasting and
Yeah. So I'm doing a 40-day fast.
okay. So yeah, I guess maybe someone who watched those, it looks like, was concerned about you, but yeah, I have no information on who that was or anything like that. Yeah, just wanted to see how you're doing.
Interesting. No, I feel incredible. I'm on day 9 right now. In fact, I'm live streaming the whole thing to prove it. It's gonna be dope. So like I feel the best I ever have in my life.
Okay, well that's good to hear. Have you ever received mental health services in the past?
Yeah, I actually did it purposely. So I did this cool thing where I wanted to retell the story of Jesus. So I faked my death, put myself in a psych ward, all this weird stuff. But it was all for YouTube to spread the word of enlightenment, to make people free from the suffering of the ego, to make people realize their true nature, all this cool stuff. So I'm like a spiritual YouTuber. So all of it had a purpose, right? I actually did a video proving that I did it all purposely. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, well I'm glad you're feeling good, and yeah, that definitely sounds interesting. So what kind of sparked all of this in the past few weeks? Just like posting these videos about these spiritual things, what kind of sparked that for you?
Yeah, I finally had the pure, actual spiritual awakening. It starts out understanding this whole concept of oneness and non-duality on the intellectual level. And I was there for a long time, meditating and understanding these things on the intellectual level, but then I actually experienced it, right? So I experienced this whole incredible concept of non-duality, oneness, the collective consciousness, right? That I'm the universe, stuff like that. And then I had these incredible realizations that kind of fermented in my mind, and now I realize, wow, I know enough through direct experience that I could tell people about this.
Do you have any close friends or family that are also in the know of all of this?
Oh yeah, I told my dad everything, my mom everything. They know everything. I was just in Columbia, Missouri with my family, and it was great. Yeah, it was a great time. So.
Okay. What do they think about all this?
Yeah, my mom's a little religious, so me calling myself like, oh, like anyone can be Jesus, anyone can anyone can have what Jesus had, because Jesus was simply an enlightened individual who was spreading the truth, just like Buddha and Eckhart Tolle and all these people. And so she's a little like, that sounds kind of blasphemous, but my he thinks it's awesome. He's rooting for me. They both fully support me 100%. So
Okay, that's nice. You have supportive parents.
yeah.
Would you say that you feel kind of like you're somewhat of a Jesus figure or something like that?
Well, it depends upon how you classify a Jesus figure. In the Christian sense, no, I don't have any magical powers or anything like that. But if you look at it from the spiritual perspective, right, Jesus was simply a spiritual teacher, a human who was trying to spread the truth. The idea of this collective consciousness, oneness, non duality, right? And
Mm-hmm.
from that sense, I would say that Eckhart Tolle, if you know who that is, he would be a Jesus figure. Even Jim Carrey would be somewhat of a Jesus figure because he is teaching the same thing, right? I don't know if you know about Jim Carrey's whole spiritual awakening process. But so in that
Not too
sense,
much, but you'd say yours is similar.
well, in that sense, yes. I mean, we've all experienced the same spiritual awakening process, right?
What kind of started your spiritual awakening? Can you, like, did some event
Yeah,
happen,
sure.
or was it just kind of like one day
So what
that
happened
came
was,
about?
it was about 3 years ago, right? And I'm this famous YouTuber, right? I got to where I wanted to be in life. My life situation was perfect. I was rich and famous, living in LA. Everything was wonderful, wonderful. People coming up to me on the streets saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm a huge fan of you." All this money, girls, whatever. So I had the perfect life situation in LA, and I realized that I wasn't happy. And that was very
Yeah.
depressing. I was like, wow, I can have this perfect life situation. I worked so hard for this, and it didn't affect my happiness at all. So I realized that seeking happiness externally simply didn't work, right? It simply wasn't the
Mm-hmm.
path. And so I got on this, I started meditating. I decided I needed to try something else. And, I was still very scientific back then, and I realized meditation had a lot of health benefits. So I got into meditation, and then it just started escalating. I was like, wow, I feel incredible. I feel a lot less stressful. I feel more detached from negative emotions, right? Negative
Right.
thoughts. And so I kept going. And then, yeah, it's just got on the path to this kind of spiritual enlightenment thing, which happened over the course of 3 years. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I know you said you're fasting.
mhm.
Um, so you haven't had any food for how many days?
Well, it's been 8 days now. So I'm on day 9.
Okay. Are you intaking any kind of water or any food or anything?
Yeah, drinking water.
Okay. And what is the reason for the fast? Is it like a spiritual reason?
Yeah, it's a spiritual fast to improve my spiritual potential. Actually, a ton of people do it. Not a lot of people know, but it's actually a fairly common thing, especially among the spiritual world. And
Hmm.
it's also to show YouTube what's possible. Not promoting it in any way. I definitely don't promote anyone doing the fast whatsoever. But a lot of people are extremely close-minded. You know, they think that
Mm-hmm.
they know everything about this reality, the universe, whatever, right? And so many people, that's kind of the hindrance of the evolution of human consciousness, is this closed-mindedness, right? So it's just kind of showing people what's possible. So it's really just to expand people's minds. And also, it's kind of like a peaceful protest because there's all this angry activism in the world, and what people don't realize is that simply doesn't work. It actually creates a more of a separation, right? They're protesting against these cops, but that doesn't make the cops better people. It only makes them feel separate. It only makes them feel like now they're in more opposition with these people. The only way to really
Mm-hmm.
make an impact on the world is search inside and find true happiness within, and then lead by example, because you'll find that happiness is absolutely contagious. That's all anyone really wants. And so when someone sees that in someone else, they're going to start trying to do the things that they do. And so this is sort of a peaceful protest as well, to
Yeah.
contrast all the angry activism in the world right now.
I see. Okay. Well, what about how's your sleep been recently? Have you been sleeping much?
Sleep's been great. Last night I got 10 hours, and it's all proven on live stream too, because I'm live streaming essentially every second of the day.
Are we being recorded right now on YouTube?
I'm on live stream. Yeah,
Okay.
mhm.
What about, do you use any drugs or alcohol?
No, no, absolutely not. I'm being live stream every second of the day, so I actually haven't really gotten drunk since college. It's been 5 or 6 years. So
Okay. it sounds like you said at one point when you were in LA that you felt a little bit depressed just because you were overwhelmed with everything. You said like all the different external things, and do you feel like now that, I know you said that you're feeling really good and better than ever, but do you feel like you may need just some mental health support, just on the side to kind of maintain your stability?
No, absolutely not. You'll find that when you free yourself from this restricted psychological concept of the ego, right, the false self, you simply can't have any attachment to negative feelings, thoughts, or emotions. It's incredible. I've truly found my happiness, and it is impossible for me to go back to having any sort of depression in any way. So
I see.
it's great.
Okay. Yeah, recently, have you had any thoughts of wanting to kill yourself?
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Definitely not the human form. Now, a lot of people call the self, right, the false self, the ego. I completely, yeah, of course, I want to keep that long gone. The ego, goodbye, ego, right? That's the cause of all mental suffering. But in terms of the human form, of course, I would never want to hurt the human form.
Okay. What about any thoughts wanting to hurt anyone else?
No, all of consciousness is one. I am one with everyone else. That's like telling me, do you want to cut off your own arm? No, of course I wouldn't want to hurt anyone else at all.
Okay, yeah, and I ask these things to everyone, so
Yeah.
just had to ask. What about, do you ever hear any voices or things that others might not hear?
Yeah, all the time, like thoughts. I hear these thoughts in my head. I think that everyone does though.
Yeah, so I guess I'm wondering, do you ever hear things that you don't feel like are your own thoughts? So they could be like other
Now,
voices speaking to you, or maybe receiving messages from like TV or things like that.
no, see, this is a difficult concept because the answer that you're looking for is no. But when you get into a meditative state, you'll realize that thoughts will just really come into your head as appearances in consciousness and then fade away. Now, it's hard to really call these your thoughts because you're witnessing the thoughts, right? And so, what you can witness, how can that truly be you? You are actually the underlying consciousness that just witnesses the thoughts. But in terms of the societal perspective of how thoughts are, then yes, you could say that they're all mine.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, I think. And would you be open to a follow-up from my team? Or how would you feel about that?
I'll be honest, probably not. I really have no need for mental health services whatsoever. I feel incredible. In
Okay.
fact, if any of your team feels like they still have negative thoughts, they still have emotions that they see as negative and they wish that they were happy, but they're still experiencing negative emotions, well, I suggest they call me. I would be happy to help. We could do a YouTube video out of it or something like that, or simply just watch my videos, right? So, yeah, it's very interesting
Okay.
that it's this way how these doctors and mental health people who aren't even happy themselves are trying to make other people happy. Like they haven't even found true happiness themselves, and yet, oh, I'm going to prescribe these people medication, but they haven't even found it within. So how can they give it to other people, right? So I just really don't agree with the whole mental health system here. So I would rather, yeah, just not be a part of it if that's cool.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for speaking with me. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Okay, bye.
Thanks. Bye.